Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Don't go away, creaking door opener, because we will hear from the creaking door, an episode of Inner-Sanctum-Mysteries. Going back to January 9th, 1945, Raymond Edward Johnson as the host Raymond, in an episode entitled Desert Death.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends. This is Raymond, your host. Welcome again to the Inner Sanctum. Come in, won't you? You'll have to excuse me for not getting up, but I have an awfully stiff neck. You see, I was out with a certain lady last night who collects very curious things. She spent the first half of the evening telling me how wonderful I am, but after that, well, it's one thing when a girl tries to turn your head. It's another when she tries to twist it off. Now let me invite you to come to the desert and hear the story of Desert Death. It's an original tale written by that spinner of surprise stories, Robert Newman. And our star tonight is Horace Braham. The desert, eerie and mysterious at sundown. The sun sinking slowly in a purple haze. The cactus casting long and weirdly twisting shadows. The hot winds still. Silence over all. Driving fast, a dusty car comes down the narrow desert road. At the wheel is Dan Darrell, a rancher. Next to him is his Indian friend, Toby Priest.
Still worrying, Toby?
Stop teasing me, Dan. You know I never did worry. I just told you what my people used to think it meant.
Used to think? Didn't you say we ought to postpone our trip into town today?
I did.
And when did you say it? Right after you saw them. 3 vultures lying together toward the sunset. That means 3 days. A bad omen for a journey. Hey, look.
I see him.
What's a man doing out here in the middle of nowhere on foot? Anything the matter, stranger? Need any help?
You're very kind. Our car broke down and... well, we were in a bit of a spot. Didn't know whether anyone would be likely to come along here or not.
We? Oh, I didn't see your friends. Well, come in. We're going to Palo Verde. We're glad to take you that far.
Well, that's very decent of you. Thanks.
Thank you. My name's Darrell, Dan Darrell, and this is Toby Priest.
And I'm very happy to know you. I'm Richards, and this is Brennan and Smith.
How do you do? Howdy. You're British, ain't you?
Why, yes. Clever of you to spot it. We're on our way out to the coast. One of those hush-hush missions. That's why it's so important we get into town.
Oh, sure. Which way'd you come? Medicine Creek or Route 12?
Why, Medicine Creek. It sounded more scenic.
You're lying, Dan. You know that, don't you?
What makes you say that, Toby?
Use your head. He doesn't look.
Mr. Darrow, surely it's considered rude to whisper in front of strangers, even here in America, isn't it?
What? Oh, sorry.
Yes, I'm sure you will be. But first I must insist on knowing what you were saying.
Insist? What you mean, insist? This is my car, and this is
I know. A free country. But this is a gun. That's why I can insist. Now, will you tell me what you were saying?
I was saying it, so I'll tell you. I said you were lying, that you weren't British at all.
No? Then who are we?
I think that you're Nazi prisoners who escaped from that camp up near Post City.
Oh? And what makes you think that?
First, none of your clothes fit you, so they're obviously not yours. Second, you said your car broke down, but there wasn't any car around. Third, you said you came by way of Medicine Creek, and that road's closed.
All right. Stop the car and let us get it over with.
You mean shoot them? Not so quick, Werner. We can use them for a while yet. At least one of them.
What the devil do you mean?
Of course, your Indian friend is right. Very clever, too. But since I have a gun, you will take orders from me. Our first need is water. You have any in the car?
No.
And then we will have to find some.
Yeah? Where'd you expect to find water in the desert?
I told you we were Nazis, Darrow. I did not tell you that we were Rommel's men from the Africa Corps. That means we know the desert, any desert, better than anyone on Earth. Those hills off there to the left. Take the left-hand road at that fork there and head toward them. But do as I say.
How much further you want me to go up this wagon track?
Slow up. Isn't that, yes, the shack right next to the cliff. Stop.
Looks deserted, but there, next to it. Is that not a well?
It should be. Brenner, go see if there's any water in it.
Jawohl, Herr Colonel.
You two come with us. We'll go look at the shack. What is this place? Those terraces up there on the cliff?
A pueblo. Cliff dwellings. Centuries ago, my people lived in villages like this.
There is water in it, Herr Colonel. Even a bucket to get it up with.
Good. Come into the house. Match, Schmidt. From the dust, I'd say no one had been here for a good many years. Prospector's cabin, wasn't it?
Probably.
That means... that's what I want. Shovel.
What the devil do you want that for? To dig yourself a grave?
Yes, Darrow, exactly. But not for me.
Huh? What you mean?
Precisely what I said. Sit down. Make yourselves comfortable, and I will explain things to you.
I'll stand if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. We Nazis are very objective, analytical people. We decided we needed a car to make our escape in. Now we have one. We also decided we needed someone to drive the car and get us safely across the border. That means we can use one of you. The other one will die.
You wouldn't dare.
My dear Darrow, outside of the thousands of men we killed in North Africa, who don't count, we killed at least 2 guards in making our escape. Do you really think one more death means anything to us? The only question is, which of you shall die?
This one here. He talks too much.
Well, that's not quite fair, Brenner. He's just, shall we say, less stoical than the Indian. On the other hand, I think that in the long run, he would probably prove easier to handle, less dangerous. That means that the Indian dies.
What? Why, you...
Shut up,
Thank you, Brenner. Schmidt, take the gun, the shovel, and our Indian friend, and watch over him while he digs his grave. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Of course, I personally would prefer a deeper grave, but that's up to you.
The depth is not important. The only thing that matters is that it faces west. That is why I dug it with the head against the cliff. An old tribal custom.
Very interesting. Similar to the Egyptians. But of course, they believed in a life after death.
My people believe in a life after death also, Colonel. And in this case, I think I can promise that I will not rest easy in my grave.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Hear this, too, men from across the seas. Men with death in your hearts. For the evil you would do, evil will follow you like a hungry wolf.
What is that?
What he just mentioned. A wolf.
Though you bury me deep, the earth will not hide me till you have paid for your crimes. Here where you have killed, here too will you die.
Now, Herr Colonel.
Yes, Brenner.
Oh, you can't, you...
Very good, Schmidt. I'll take the gun now. Fill in the grave, then meet us back at the cabin. what a place. It's worse than Qatar.
I wish you'd sit down, Darrell, and stop staring out of the window.
You're worried about your friend. I buried him very nicely.
I'm not worried about him. I'm thinking about what he said before you killed him. I should think that you think about it, too.
That? We have had more curses laid on us in more languages than you have hairs on your head.
What's that? Must be the wind.
No, it is different. More like some kind of musical instrument. But there's no one around here but us. There hasn't been anyone living in those houses up on the cliff for centuries.
It's just the wind, I tell you. But if you want to, go take a look. Go take a look, I said.
Jawohl, Herr Koll. It's too dark. There's too much sand blowing to see anything. But wait. Over there near the foot of the cliff. There's something. It looks like... Lieber Gott. It's the Indian. He's lying there. Out of his grave.
Oh, you bury me deep. The earth will not hide me till you have paid for your crimes. Here where you are killed. Here, too, will you die. A 100 curses in a dozen different tongues. Perhaps they did mean 3 deaths. If so, who are the others that'll die and who will live?
January 9th, 1945, Inner Sanctum Mysteries on Classic Radio Theater.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a health care plan you don't like, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. They'll waive your new member fee if you join by January 15th. So that's $170 in addition to all the other savings. The typical family saves $500 or more per month. And MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. Again, join by January 15th and save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Now more of Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station, Inner Sanctum Mysteries, January 9th, 1945.
I'm warning you, if I do go on, you'll be seeing strange sights and hearing strange sounds every time you put out the lights. But it's your funeral. It's just a moment later now. The 3 Nazis are still standing at the open door of the deserted cabin, staring out into the darkness. And the colonel turned sharply, glares at Darrell.
What was that you said, Darrell?
I was just repeating what Tova said. Before you murdered him.
It's true, Herr Colonel. That's what he did say. The earth will not hide me. And there he is, out of his grave, lying there as if...
Fine Nazi you are. A fine example of the Afrika Korps. Listening to the ravings of a savage and believing them. Schmidt, where did you bury the Indian? In the sand. Then this wind came along and blew the sand away. And that's all.
And that's strange, Miss?
Another trick of the wind. But if it bothers you to see him lying there, go on out and bury him again. Deeper this time.
No, Herr Colonel, no.
Well, that's an order.
Jawohl, Herr Colonel.
Friend Schmidt seems to be getting a bit rattled.
That's why I sent him out there. Nothing like facing a fear to overcome it.
Colonel Ulrich, do you not think it is about time that Schmidt came back?
He's only been gone about 5 or 10 minutes. I told him to dig the grave deep this time.
I know, but I do not see him out there anywhere.
Well, how could you expect to when it's so dark and when the sand is blowing like that? Maybe we'd better go out and see what's taking him so long. And you too, Mr. Darrell, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Schmidt! Schmidt, where are you? Blasted idiot. Probably wandered off into the desert. Schmidt!
Ulrich, look. The Indian. He is still lying there. He never did bury him.
That means Schmidt never even got over there. Must have lost his way right after he got outside. Schmidt!
I think you can save your breath, Colonel Ulrich. Come on over here. To the well.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Schmidt. Dead.
Well, why are you looking at me like that, Brenner? Exactly as I said. He lost his way in the darkness, the sandstorm, fell down the well.
I guess that is what must have happened.
As for you, Mr. Darrell, since you discovered Schmidt, you shall have the pleasure of burying your friend the Indian again.
Jawohl, Herr Colonel.
I'm sorry, I never did appreciate the American type of humor. Now get busy with that shovel.
May I just point out that, while it's easy for you to knock me down when my hands are tied, it's not so easy for me to use a shovel.
Oh, I intend to untie you. But please remember always that I have a gun. And that Brenner and I have every intention of getting away from here. I'm happy to see that you've stopped pacing the floor and looking out the window, Mr. Darrow. That means you've stopped expecting something miraculous to happen that will save you.
Is that what you think it means?
Frankly, no. In fact, I think just the opposite. You're looking much more cheerful than before. You're thinking one of them is dead. Now it'll be that much easier to get away. It really pains me to disillusion you. Schmidt was a sergeant, a fool. I can assure you that neither Brenner nor myself are going to be bothered by strange noises or tricks of the wind. Right, Brenner?
Of course not, Colonel.
Good. And now, if we're to make an early start, I think we should get some rest. Brenner, you take the first watch and wake me at midnight. I advise you to get some rest too, Darrell. Maybe you'll be able to dream of some way of escaping.
Thanks. But I'm not sleeping.
As you wish. Good night.
Quite a character.
He was one of the best soldiers in the Africa Corps.
Yeah? Where's Africa Corps now? Where are you? This isn't Africa, Brenner. This is America. This is a part of America where strange things happen. Things that even the Indians can't explain.
Indians. Ignorant savages. That devilish music again. Where does it come from?
I thought you said it was the wind. Or was it Ulrich that said that?
It must be the wind. It must.
Though you bury me deep, the earth will not hide me till you pay for your crimes.
What is that?
That was what Tova said just before you killed him.
Schmidt was first, Brenner. You will be next. I'm waiting, Brenner. Waiting.
You heard it too?
Yeah. I heard it.
You're lying. You're lying, I say. You're just trying to frighten me.
What? Who's trying to frighten you? What's going on?
It is nothing here, Colonel. Just that music again. And for a moment, it sounded as if someone was calling my name.
Someone was calling your name, Brenner. A dead man. And you know you heard it.
So?
There it is again. You hear it?
Just that same noise, the wind.
Look, Ulrich, look. That Indian is out of his grave again.
How can you tell? It's too dark to see.
But I know he is. I know it.
I'm very disappointed in you, Brenner. You're losing your grip, slipping.
I'm sorry, Herr Colonel. It is just this place, the nervous tension, the mating.
Just being sorry isn't enough. Fear is a weakness. As much of a weakness as pity. You know that as Nazis we cannot tolerate either one. And you also know what you must do, don't you?
No, Herr Colonel. No.
You must face your fear and overcome it. You must go out there and prove to yourself that you are not afraid. That you've just been imagining things the way Schmidt did.
But
Schmidt was a fool, and he had an accident. You are an officer, and you will not have an accident. Now go ahead and convince yourself that this is all nonsense.
Jawohl, Herr Colonel.
But leave the gun with me. What's out there is imaginary, but Mr. Darrell is very real. If I didn't have a gun, he might get ideas.
Jawohl, Herr Colonel. Here. We'll be back in a few minutes.
You're looking at me very strangely, Mr. Darrell. Perhaps now you're starting to understand the fiber of the Nazi character. And perhaps now you're beginning to realize why you can never win this war. Because we allow nothing to defeat us or stand in our way. Any sign of weakness is ruthlessly stamped out. And... God, what's that?
Sounded to me like Brenner.
Outside, quick. And don't try to get away or I'll shoot you down in your tracks.
Okay. Which way?
Towards the cliff. where we buried the Indian. That's where he went, and... What's that over there?
My guess is that it's your friend, Brenner. Maybe you'd better make sure.
It is Brenner. Dead. Strangled.
So it was all imagination, huh? Just face your fear and overcome it. Aren't you feeling just a little frightened, Colonel?
Yeah. No. There's some rational explanation for everything that happened. Look. The Indian. He is out of his grave again. And that's the answer. He wasn't dead. But this should take care of him. There. And you will notice that even at a moment like this, I look ahead.
Be prepared. That's the byword. January 9th, 1945. Inner Sanctum Mysteries, Desert Death. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening to Classic Radio Theater. Mike Lindell, the inveterate CEO of MyPillow, wants to give back to listeners. You can get great discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Deep discounts on all MyPillow products, like the buy one, get one free special on Giza Dream Sheets. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty. Call 1-800-951-8175 or go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Use my promo code USA. Now on Classic Radio Theater, the conclusion of Desert Death, an episode of Inner Sanctum Mysteries, January 9th, 1945.
1 shot before and 4 now. That still leaves 1 bullet for you, if it should prove necessary.
You think of everything, don't you?
Yes, my friend, everything. Now get into that car. We're not going to wait until morning. We're leaving here right now.
I thought you had everything figured out. You weren't frightened.
What's that?
What's what?
That noise, that music. It's like the music we heard after we killed the Indian.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, but you must hear it. You must. Listen. It's coming from over there.
For the evil you have done, evil will follow you like a hungry wolf. Though you bury me deep, the earth will not hide me till you have paid for your crimes.
Did you hear that? Did you hear it?
Yeah. I heard it.
Here where you have killed, here too will you die.
No. You're dead, I tell you. I killed you.
First Schmidt, then Brenner, now you.
But you're dead, I tell you. And the dead don't speak. I can't be really hearing you unless... Mad. No. I can't let that happen. I can't. There's one way. The Nazi way. A way to fool you all. This is why you'll never beat us. Never. Never.
Toby! Toby! Where are you? Over here. Near the foot of the cliff.
Are you all right? That first bullet creased my head. I was already dropping by the time he fired. Outside of that, I'm all right.
I figured that was what had happened when Schmidt went down the well. I knew it was an accident.
I was pretty happy that it was you that buried me the second time. That you put my face against the cliff, left a hole for me to breathe. The first time, well, it was pretty tough until the wind blew the sand off.
Yeah, but what about when he shot you again? That ungodly music.
It wasn't me he shot that second time. It was Schmidt. I pulled his body out of the well. I figured that in the dark, no one would be able to tell the difference. As for the music, that's why I dug the grave here. You see these holes here in that cliff? My people drilled them centuries ago. The wind blows through them. Makes weird music. This bottom hole was blocked up, but I opened it while I was digging the grave.
Talking of graves, there's 3 of them we should be digging right now. Just one more thing I'd like to ask you, Toby.
What's that?
What you said this morning. Those 3 buzzards flying together toward the west. Does it really mean 3 devs?
There were 3 devs. Weren't there, Dan?
it, Toby. Never give a Nazi an even break. Unless it's in the neck. As for our 3 visiting murderers, they may not like our sense of humor, but they can't complain about our poetic justice. After all, it was in the desert that they got their just deserts. We must have a word of advice. Here it is. If you should wake up one of these nights in a cold sweat, convinced that there's something or someone in your room, and if, when you look toward the window, you should see a strange figure silhouetted in the moonlight, then pull the blankets up over your head and don't look out again. It'll be one of our 3 friends from tonight's story, one of the Africa corpses. By the way, this month's inner-sanctum mystery novel is Puzzle for Puppets by Patrick Quentin. Well, now I guess it's time to close that there squeaking door until next week at this same time. So until next Tuesday night. Good night. Pleasant dreams.
From January 9th, 1945, Inner Sanctum Mysteries on Classic Radio Theater.
Our U.S. Constitution is amazing. It's full of what's called negative rights, designed to protect us from the corrupt powers of a dictatorship.
Like our right to worship our own God, not some official state religion.
Our right to prevent the government from seizing our property without paying fair market value for it.
Or our right to be tried by a jury of our peers, people like us, not by some star tribunal.
And that's why America has become the richest, most just society in the world.
Other countries force so-called positive rights onto their citizens. These enable one group to take from another group their free speech, money, and choice by using government force. Socialists love wielding this power over people.
Sometimes we take our freedoms for granted, but we can lose our Bill of Rights and our Constitution and become like Venezuela or North Korea, failed, brutal socialist regimes.
We need your help to spread the good news about our amazing U.S. Constitution. Help us take back America. Go to ouramericanrights.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, we start a brand new Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story. This episode, originally broadcast January 9th, 1956, the first part of the Todd Matter.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Orrin Vance.
Orrin Vance?
Yeah, you sent me up to Ossining 7 years ago, you remember?
Huh? Oh, yes, I think I do.
You know, I thought a lot about coming out and killing you, Dollar.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, I'm going to do you a favor.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think maybe you and I can work out something.
You know, this sounds like double talk to me.
Don't you give me any routine, Dollar. I heard 'em all. I'm calling you with information about the Todd case.
Todd? I don't remember.
Well, look it up. It cost your company $75,000.
Hey. Hello? Vance?
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to 4 State Insurance Company, Wilmington, Delaware. Attention, Mr. Don Freed, Chief Investigator, Claims Division. Since your office authorized me to conduct certain inquiries based on new information supplied by Orrin Vance, I am billing you accordingly. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Todd Matter. Expense account item 1, $1.85. One phone call to Don Freed in Wilmington, Delaware to discuss the burglary that had occurred 6 months before in the Long Island home of Norman Todd. The case was a complete stalemate. The police and the insurance investigators had been unable to locate the thieves or trace any of the loot, which included jewelry, silver, and wearing apparel that had been taken from the residence. I requested Don to forward whatever details they had, along with an accurate list of the stolen items and complete descriptions. Expense account item 2, $2, cab fare. To and from the Office of International Adjustment Bureau, where I refresh my memory concerning Orrin Vance. A good look at the files, and I remembered him well. Back in 1947, he'd been involved in a well-engineered swindle of the Seaman Clothing Company. Almost got away with it. And it was my investigation and testimony that finally put him behind the bars.
Hi.
Huh? Vance?
Yeah. Oh, hello, Dollar. You haven't changed a bit.
You have.
Yeah, sure I have. You took 7 years of my life away from me. Did you do what I told you to on the phone?
People like you don't tell me what to do, Vance. Come on in.
Oh, sure. Thanks. Nice place you got here.
Yeah, I like it. Sit down. Tell me what's on your mind.
Look, Dollar, don't treat me like a con, huh? Even if I am one. I'll sit down, yeah. I'll have a smoke with you. I'll talk with you.
Okay. Okay, have one.
Thanks. It's just that everybody's doing it. Treating me like that. Even my wife. Went over to see her the first day I got out. You know what? She wouldn't let me in the house. She gave me $40 and told me to go out and get a decent job. Work hard, she said, and in 6 months, if everything is okay and you're not in any trouble, you can come home to me and the kids. And if not, she says, I'm going to divorce you.
Mm-hmm. What do you want me to say?
Offer me a seat. Invite me to sit down. I'm a human being, too.
Sure.
Thanks again.
Well?
Why, I thought about it a lot. You know, if you hadn't been out to get me 8 years ago, I might have had you over to dinner. Maybe we could have been friends.
Yeah, maybe. Now, what's this all about, Vance?
Okay. I can't get a job. I'll have to go in business for myself. I need a stake. That's why I called you.
Go on.
Now, did you do like I asked you to? Look up the Todd case?
I called Wilmington about it. There's nothing new happening.
I'm happening. That's something new. And I can help. For a price.
All right, go on.
But I want my name out of the picture. Could you fix that?
Probably. But I'd have to talk to the police sooner or later.
All I'm asking is your promise to keep my name out of it. Otherwise, it's no go.
Well, tell me something about it before I make any promises, Vance.
Fair enough. You got a list of the stolen items?
Not yet. Won't be here until tomorrow.
Now, when it gets here, you'll find there was a mink coat in that lot. I think most of it was jewelry, but it was a mink coat, labeled from Zellerback Furs in New York. And the inside lining carried this serial number, 27356.
All right. Take it easy, Vance. Expense account item 3, $2.50. Another long-distance phone call to Wilmington and Don Freed, who verified that the serial numbers furnished by Orrin Vance fitted those in the stolen mink coat. I explained how I'd come about the information at hand, leaving out any mention of names. Freed talked with his boss and phoned me back a half an hour later.
You can go ahead and work on it, Dollar. There's a $5,000 reward posted.
$5,000?
We'll split it between you and your friend, if anything worthwhile turns up. Okay?
Suppose it's nothing.
Okay. Swindle sheet, too.
Right. Okay, Vance. You're in business.
How does it work?
You tell me where the coat is and who has it, and I'll handle it from there. If it turns out to be anything, you'll get paid for it. All I've had so far is talk.
I'll tell you where the coat is and who has it. But before I do that, you give me a check.
What?
A check for $2,500. You date it 2 days from now. That'll give you a chance to look into it and see if I know what I'm talking about. And you can stop payment any time within 2 days if my tip doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I'll have the check and bye-bye.
Where to?
Homewood, Indiana. My plane leaves in an hour.
I may want you around for some questions.
No, I'll give you the tip. That's all. You ask somebody else the questions. Well?
Okay. What's the matter? You afraid?
Sure. Haven't you noticed? I'm a stool pigeon.
I noticed, and it worried me. But I arranged for him to have the post-dated check in return, for which he gave me a name and an address. Gloria Tierney, 1231 East 57th Street, New York City. Expense account item 4, $3, cab fare to the airport. I saw Orrin Vance off on a westbound plane to Indiana. 45 minutes later, I boarded Flight 37 for New York. Expense account item 5, $18.85. The cost of getting me from Hartford to New York. I checked in at the New Weston and went directly to the Metropolitan Police Station, where I asked if Gloria Tierney had a record. A check in the police files revealed that she was not listed. About 7 o'clock, I had a bite to eat, and then I walked over to the 57th Street address, a small apartment building.
Yes?
Hello. I'm looking for Gloria Tierney.
Oh, you have the wrong apartments right across the hall.
I was over there. No one answered.
Well, she must be out. I'm the manager here. Would you like to leave your name?
I'm Johnny Dollar, but I wonder if you could tell me where to find her.
No, I can't, but I'll be glad to give her your name and ask her to call you.
Well, that sounds fair enough. I'm at the New Weston Hotel.
Oh? You're from out of town?
Yes.
An old friend of Gloria's?
No, I'm just on business.
Well, I'll tell her you came by.
Good, fine. By the way, how long has Miss Tierney lived here?
About a year. Why?
Oh, just wondered, thank you.
Johnny Dollar, New Weston Hotel?
That's right. Wait a minute. Here, take my card.
Insurance?
Sort of. The apartment house manager, it said Ethel Stromberg on the mailbox, smiled politely and closed the door. I went outside the building and took a plant across the street. I waited around for about 3 hours and saw no one go in or out of the building. I went back to my hotel. About midnight, the phone rang. Johnny Dollar.
Hello, Mr. Dollar, please.
I'm Mr. Dollar.
You left word for me. I'm Gloria Tierney.
Oh, yes, Miss Tierney.
I intend to leave town, possibly in the morning, so I thought I'd better call you tonight. I hope it isn't too late.
Not at all, Miss Tierney.
What's it all about, Mr. Dollar?
I'm an insurance investigator. I'd rather tell you about it in person.
As I said, I expect to leave town tomorrow. Is it important?
I think so, yes. Could I see you tonight?
Well, I don't know.
I could be there in 15 minutes.
I don't understand.
I'll come right over.
Well, all right.
I was there in less than 15 minutes, but things weren't all right. As a matter of fact, things looked all wrong. Gloria Tierney's apartment was darkened. She didn't answer when I knocked on the door. I tried it. The door was locked.
Yoo-hoo. Now, look here. I don't think you have any right to bother Gloria. Oh, it's you.
Hello, Mrs. Stromberg.
Well, where's Gloria?
I don't know.
You don't know? She was waiting to meet you.
Huh?
Well, out here in the hallway. She came in tonight, and I gave her your message. And then she went in and called you, and then came back out and said you were coming by.
Yeah, well, she's gone.
Well, that's funny.
Hey, tell me, did you hear anyone out here?
No. Well, maybe she went down to the drugstore.
Drugstore's closed.
Well, yes.
She'll probably show up.
Yes, probably.
You look worried, Mrs. Stromberg.
I am. Gloria didn't seem like herself when she came in.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, she was nervous and upset. I think she'd been crying. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hope she's all right.
Yeah, so do I.
You're sure she isn't outside waiting for you?
No, I didn't see any. Well, I'll look again.
Do you see her?
Not a soul. Had she been drinking?
No, of course not.
What was she wearing, Mrs. Stromberg?
Oh, she had her coat on.
Her mink coat?
Yes. Well, how'd you know about her mink coat?
A friend of mine. I'll take a look around out here.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. I'll come with you. You know, of course, she might have got...
Wait a second. Look, is that Gloria?
Why, yes, I think so.
Something's wrong with her.
Yes.
The girl crossing the street in the mink coat weaved slightly from side to side. As I got close to her, I could see she was a pretty girl in her late 20s, blonde hair, dark eyes. She hardly looked up as I came up to her, just stopped and stood there, weaving slightly. Miss Tierney?
Yes.
Well, can I help you? I'm Johnny Dollar.
Please.
Oh, come on, we better go inside.
Yes.
What is it?
He struck me.
He what?
He struck me. And Oh, Mr. Dollar.
There, come on. Careful now.
Sure. Oh.
Easy. Easy now.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You okay?
Yes. Look out, that car!
What?
That car! No!
All 3 slugs had hit her, and she fell back into my arms. By the time I could reach for it and get my gun out, the black Cadillac and whoever was driving it were out of sight around the corner. And there'd been no light on the rear license plate.
Oh.
Easy now, easy.
Mr. Dollar, those were shots. What? Mr. Dollar.
Call the police, quick.
But yes, right away.
You know, let's see if we can...
Mr. Dollar. Mr. Dollar.
Don't try to talk, Gloria. Don't try to move. We'll have help here in a minute.
Oh.
There'll be another intriguing episode in our story of the Todd Matter tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the same old business of murder, but with a brand new twist. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure and join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
January 9th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the first part of the Todd Matter here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Our podcasts have moved. You can find us over at Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You can also get links to the new podcast locations by going to my webpage, classicradio.stream. You can also learn more about Classic Radio Collecting. You can also contact me there, classicradio.stream. As I said, all of our podcasts are at new locations, but search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We look forward to bringing you these shows every day of the week, 3 hours each and every day. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for tuning in. Would you do me a favor? Thank this radio station. Support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that we're here with you each and every time we roll around. And tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.